The teaser for the Harry Potter series has arrived, bringing new things and, of course, raising a lot of doubts and questions from fans. Hey there, wizards! How's it going? You're just arriving here at the Leaky Cauldron. You came because of the teaser. You came because of the series. Harry Potter, welcome. I hope you enjoy the content here and everything we cover about this fantastic Harry Potter universe. And this new phase is going to be awesome, living all of this together with you here, alright? Leave a like if you enjoy it, comment, share the video if you want. Go ahead and share it, man.
And if you want to support the channel, you can become a member. Then you'll get a little cauldron next to your name and some cool emojis for you to use. Thanks, man.
I'm amazed at how a 2-minute teaser can make us go crazy and want to see everything, every detail, and look for answers to everything.
And if you paid close attention to the series teaser, we saw 3 different types of Hogwarts uniforms.
The classic robe, which is the all-black one, is the uniform that students wear on a daily basis, most of the time when they arrive. At Hogwarts, that's the all-black one, with the Hogwarts emblem on the left side of the chest. There was also a winter cloak, which is all green. You can clearly see it has a much thicker, heavier fabric, right? Because it's a winter cloak.
And what seems to be a flying cloak, which has a shade that looks kind of burgundy, depending on the lighting there.
But it could also be a kind of faded black, and you can clearly see the fabric is lighter than the other 2 cloaks. The classic cloak appears at several moments in the teaser.
That's what the students wear when they arrive at Hogwarts, and what Harry, Ron, and Hermione wear in their first teaser appearance. The cloak that Malfoy, Crabbe, Goyle, Pence, and Parkinson are also wearing at that moment when they draw their wands, in the scene where there are several students walking, where there are the stairs and the walkway.
In the scene where Harry and Ron are opening the Nimbus 2000, in the scene where the students are going down that circular staircase. At that moment when Hermione looks and gives a little smile.
And in that scene that shows, from behind, the trio walking down a corridor at Hogwarts.
And the good thing about it appearing in a lot of scenes is that we can analyze its details and talk a bit about each thing. Looking at each of these scenes, we can really analyze the details of this cloak.
Like I said before, it's completely black. The only different colors it has come from the emblem on the left arm and a very thin border on the edge of the cloak. This thin line is Bordeaux in color. The shield of the emblem is also that color. And the letter H seems to be kind of golden. And maybe you think, oh, this Bordeaux line? We're talking about the Gryffindor cloak, right? No, all the house's cloaks follow this pattern. In fact, in the scene where Draco and his friends draw their wands, you can see that Bordeaux line there. On Goyle's cloak, you can see it very clearly at chest level, and the emblem is also clearly visible on Malfoy's chest. When Harry and Ron are opening the Nimbus 2000, you can see that line much more clearly. There, in the scene shown from below, the image is a bit clearer. You can see it very clearly.
And another cool detail about this robe is that its sleeves are open. We can see this when Draco makes the motion of drawing his wand. The sleeve is completely open, leaving the student's arms free.
Even the sweaters that the students wear, regardless of their house, are burgundy in color.
And the only thing that differentiates them from one house to another are the stripes on the collar and sleeves of the sweater and the colors of the ties. As you can see on Harry and Ron's uniforms, the stripe on the sweater matches Gryffindor's colors, while Draco's sweater has Slytherin colors, just like the other Slytherin students. The same applies to other houses.
Hufflepuff's has Hufflepuff's colors. Ravenclaw has Ravenclaw's colors. Hufflepuff is black and yellow. Ravenclaw is blue and bronze. And their ties also carry the house colors. But notice a very interesting detail. All the ties, regardless of the house, have one color in common.
Just like the scarves, they also have a color in common. We see in the teaser the Gryffindor scarf, in the scene where Hermione and Ron are there, in the Quidditch stands.
And that scarf has the color burgundy, which is the predominant color of Gryffindor.
A stripe that seems to be a dark blue or black and a golden line, like a golden yellow right in the middle.
Now, the Ravenclaw one, it has the color blue. It has a darker blue or black stripe and a bronze line in the middle.
And the ties also have this same characteristic.
It has the house color. It has this dark blue or black stripe, and it also has this thinner line with the house color.
In the center, that is, all the houses have colors in common, There's the same color on the uniform, no matter which house it is. That's really cool. Why?
What the costume designer Holly Weddington wanted to convey is that even though the houses are different, everyone is at the same school. Everyone belongs to the same school.
Hogwarts is just one. It was born as one, with a purpose, even though the houses are divided there, with their personalities. All the houses make up Hogwarts. That's really cool, man. And a cool detail is that for the girls, there are extra accessories with the house colors. For example, Hermione wears this headband, this tiara in her hair. I'm not sure if it's from the house, but I believe it is. I believe it is. Yes. Uniform composition. And they wear a ribbon, a kind of belt tied around the waist, over the dresses. And that's a cool detail too, to mention about the uniforms. The girls wear a pinafore-style dress, and this dress has a print known as tartan. Tartan is a pattern of lines that cross each other, forming a kind of plaid. Allie, you must have seen clothes with this print before, for sure. And look how cool. Tartan originates from the Scottish Highlands, which is exactly where Hogwarts is located. And initially, tartan was created to identify family groups, to identify clans. Depending on the pattern of those stripes, it would identify a clan. So that's why you see it on the kilt, which is that classic Scottish skirt that men wear and all, that they have this tartan pattern, these stripe designs. And the Hogwarts students' uniforms have it too. That's because, well, Hogwarts is located in the Scottish Highlands, and you can see that their intention is to bring a lot of Scottish culture into Hogwarts.
Because the trees inside, the Celtic culture, since the Celts are considered the true wizards, the true magical people.
They originated there, right in that region, and so the uniform carries that. None of this is by chance, okay guys?
In costume design, everything comes together, everything has a story, everything has a detail behind it, and that's incredible. Now, one of the things I think caught the most attention in the uniform was the change of the crest there, the emblem on the chest.
You know, in the movies, we used to see each house's crest with the house animal and the house name there.
And now, in the series, we just have an H, simply an H, inside a shield for all the houses.
And I saw some people complaining about this, saying it was a downgrade, you know, like it was something that was really good and now it's bad. And saying that we went from the Hogwarts crest, from this crest to this crest, but it's not the same thing. We're not talking about two identical crests, okay? This emblem that's on the uniform, that has an H there, formed by two trees intertwining, isn't that the Hogwarts crest? On the official Harry Potter website, there's an article talking about the news from the teaser, right? The most notable things, and among them, they talk about the crest, and they say the following.
However, the most notable change is the Hogwarts crest, which is a simple and striking H instead of a coat of arms.
There's a small problem. They say it's the crest and they're the official website. But the problem here is that the terms used are incorrect, heraldically incorrect, but not popularly incorrect. It's normal to use the word crest, which is how they referred to the emblem there on the uniform. It's common to use crest for coat of arms, but crest is actually just a part of the coat of arms. In a literal translation, crest means crest, but coat of arms also ends up being included in that translation because popularly, people started calling the coat of arms a crest. And really, when you search for Hogwarts crest or Gryffindor crest, the coat of arms will show up. You'll see the Hogwarts coat of arms, the Gryffindor coat of arms. But in this case, there's a big difference. This coat of arms that we're used to from the movies, from the books, it's actually the coat of arms of Hogwarts, which in English is called the coat of arms.
The difference between the two, in practice, is that the coat of arms is the complete heraldic set. It is made up of a shield, a helmet, supporters, a motto, and the crest itself.
Which, in our language, using the correct heraldic term, is not Krista, it's timbre. When we translate crest literally, right, it becomes Krista. But in heraldry, which is the system of coats of arms, right, that composes, creates, and studies coats of arms.
In Portuguese, the correct term is timbre. It's the timbre of the coat of arms. The Hogwarts coat of arms in the movies and books lacks a timbre and a crest.
Just so you understand better, the crest is what stays at the top, right? The timbre is what stays at the top, like the lion that sits at the top of the coat of arms of the United Kingdom. You know the United Kingdom's coat of arms with a lion on one side and a unicorn on the other?
And up there on top, there's also a little lion. That little lion on top is the crest. It's the timbre.
But then, going back, right, Even at the risk of being a bit repetitive, it became normal to use the word crest for coat of arms. You know, so much so that when you look at the article in English, it's saying it's a crest instead of a coat of arms. And then, when you translate it, it seems like it's not a coat of arms, but it actually is. And the point is that even their usage is different. In practice, the coat of arms is used in official documents, like the Hogwarts letter, for example, government or academic seals. Hogwarts uses this seal on the facades of historic buildings. In other words, Hogwarts, which is a historic building, a castle, has the coat of arms there, carved in some places. Now, the crest, the emblem, which in this case here, when translating, I'll call it an emblem so as not to confuse it with the coat of arms. Outside of heraldry, it can simply mean the coat of arms, as the website is saying. And this type is used on uniforms, like on the Hogwarts uniform, simplified logos, clothing embroidery, products, and merchandising. So, calm down, calm your heart. This little H on the students' uniforms. It's not the Hogwarts crest you imagine when the words Hogwarts crest are said, the one we always picture. The lion, the eagle, the badger, the serpent, the Latin motto, Draco Dormiens Nunquam Titilandus. This complete Hogwarts coat of arms still hasn't been revealed. Although in the trailer we can see this crest kind of blurred at certain moments, right? On that banner that appears behind Harry and Ron and Hermione, which is the same banner that appears behind Minerva, just a bit farther away, above the fireplace, when they're running on the table there, in the Great Hall. You can't see it clearly, but you can see that there's a crest there on the Hogwarts letter, that Petunia, in that image where Petunia is reading, you can also see a little piece of the crest there. You can't see it clearly on the back of the paper, but you can tell part of the crest is there. This crest hasn't been revealed. It hasn't, so definitely comparing this one with that one is wrong. The fair comparison we can make here is to take this H emblem and compare it with the crest that was used on the house uniforms. You know, from Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, Hufflepuff.
You can then say, I prefer the movie version or the series version.
Whatever you prefer, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you prefer. What matters is the fair comparison. And it's all good. You can prefer either one. I really like the house crests, the Gryffindor crest. It's really awesome. I think it shows a lot of personality, but I also don't think it's lame. Yeah, the symbol. Just with the little H there. Because for me, and I've already said this in the analysis, it really reminds me of the pre-movie illustrations, which I'm just in love with. So for me, my friend, both of them are wonderful. Now, speaking of the other types of uniforms, the winter cloak, which is that thick green one, we also see it at some moments in the teaser. When Harry is playing war, having a snowball fight, he's wearing it. Hannah Abbott is wearing it. And Ernest Macmillan is also wearing it. While Ron is wearing clothes that aren't the uniform, not the winter cloak, I imagine that the winter uniform, right? This winter cloak is a bit more expensive. So that's why Ron doesn't have one. And he's wearing his own clothes there, you know. And that coat he's wearing is the same one that showed up in those leaked images. When he was filming the scene at platform 9 3/4, he's holding that coat in his hand. It's the same coat. Look at the inside of it there. Anyway, this green also shows up when the students are heading to the Quidditch stadium.
Notice the girl next to the one who's wearing something. A red accessory on her head, a hat, a beanie.
There, she's wearing that green cloak. The Slytherin students in the corner are also wearing it. Where's Draco there? And you can see that on the inside, there, she also has the tartan, that very typical Scottish pattern. And finally, the other type of cloak that appeared. And this is the one that's making me most unsure about how it's actually used. It's this one that seems to have a kind of faded color.
We can see that it's not the same cloak as the classic one, because this cloak has side buttons, and the classic cloak doesn't. That was the first one we talked about.
And this cloak also doesn't have the emblem with the H there, from Hogwarts. It does seem to be a slightly more faded cloak, because when we see the students going to the Quidditch field, they're wearing it. Some of them are wearing it. It's clearly a faded black cloak, but in the photo that came out of the trio walking down the hallway there, it looks like a more burgundy cloak. And I think that ends up depending a lot on the lighting there, like when sunlight hits it. I think it gives that impression when you put black clothes in the sun, they don't look as worn out anymore. To me, that's the impression I get from this cloak. Visually, it looks like it has lighter fabric than the others. and I believe it's used for lighter and outdoor school activities. Like, I don't know, Care of Magical Creatures class, flying class, those more outdoor classes. Also, when that image of Harry in flying class leaked, they were wearing these robes, all of them, except Draco, if I'm not mistaken. Draco was wearing the classic robe. Anyway, this robe, you can see that inside. It also has the tartan pattern. You can clearly see in the image of the trio in the hallway that Hermione's robe is slightly inside out, right? The inner part is flipped out a bit from her movement as she walks.
And you can really see that pattern there, even matching with the dress, right? It's the same pattern as her dress. And all the robes have all these types of robes, right? The classic black one is all black.
You see the trio from behind as they walk down the hallway, not walking backwards, but away from us. Walking backwards would mean going in reverse, right?
Anyway, when they're walking there, you can see on the hood that the tartan isn't inside the hood, while the others have it.
So, I really believe this uniform is for flying lessons, which wouldn't explain why the students are wearing it to go watch the Quidditch match. Maybe it's just because they want to, Or maybe there's just no rule about it. Look, this uniform is for flying lessons, but we suggest you wear it because it's better. Anyway, those were all the types of uniforms that showed up. Obviously, I'm not talking about the robe there, the herbology cloak, the one they wear, that yellow cloak. That's standard for all students, it's just some protection for their clothes.
And also, I'm not talking about the Quidditch cloaks, obviously, because they're not for general school use. Only the team players wear them, and we've seen that these cloaks do have the emblem with the house animals. For Hufflepuff, there's the badger. For Gryffindor, there's the lion there.
And by the way, the Quidditch uniform is just the most amazing thing in the world. Man, this uniform looks amazing. I can't wait to see it. The other house's uniforms are awesome too. Did you like them? I'm so excited and can't wait for these cloaks to go on sale. I really want one. I already have the Fantastic Beasts one, which is from the 1920s. I have the Hogwarts one, from the Harry Potter era, which is the 1990s. And now I want the one from the series too, because I want the one from the series as well. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Share your thoughts on the uniforms here. Remember, the movie and series are separate.
It's fine to have your preferences, whether you like something more in the movie or the series. That doesn't change anything or cause any problems.
What we can't do is demand that everything in the series be exactly like the movie. I refer to the movie because they're different productions, different things, different teams, different minds creating there, and all of them have their own value. Both the people who worked on the movies and the people working on the series, that's cool. I'll see you in the next episode of Leaky Cauldron, and until then, mischief managed.